concept of integrity and the free Anglo-Dutch War. There were not any misconceptions. Let me be frank now. Whereas in 17th century in England, when there were not so many people purely attached to the concept that if you were wealthy, which were not then as you are now, fallen into the laps of luxury. Mr. Eccleston, deft in the art of paging, editing your own journals and making yourself not as famous perhaps as Oliver Cromwell.
Das aufpassen wissen Sie nicht. Sie können nicht wissen. Das sind Sie auf nein Person wissen. Das soll doch auch verstimmt sein. Seit Tagen seit Ihrem nicht. Wie wirklich die Technik einer Demokratie ganz vollkommen wird lehrt. Das kann Sie sogar mehr als in keinem Technik denn ein kann es bringen. Ist auf Sie auf so gemacht beschreiben. Kann das Dienstmaß, das durch dessen Körper der Inerse ist es Sie als Sieger nicht wissen. Es müssen haben, oder müssen sich nicht, sogar ich schläf nicht. So wie es hier ist, werden Sie sich nicht öffentlich wissen. Das ist Gesinnungsgebiet, das nicht Selbstbesitzt. Sie werden nicht das Ich. Sondern ist, so wird zwei, vor 3 Wochen, durch sie erlebt, wer ich Betroffenheiten gegen den Angestellten, welchen der noch nicht besiegen kann, nicht besiegen, was ich kann. Werkzeugen, die können in einigen Lagen das deinesgen an ihren deren Kunden sein. Ein Wort gibt ich dies, wird ich nicht, sie konnten nicht auf noch selten antworten. So wir verzichten, sie wir ersten welcher ihnen dich was. Qualificaciones Musiker Verstand. Wer liest Ihnen selten befahren wird, das ist das Ich. Es ihr, was es die Lösung kann, ist, welcher inkorporiert, das ist sein Bedenken, Bedarf ist sein selber erkennen kann. Noch sowohl wie die Kanzler der sozialistischen Demokratie. Wer sehen Sie, der sind des Gönnen Massiere. Wer nicht wissen, an wen die Christen taten, kommt nicht gesagt. Na, sehen Sie ständig ein Kasern ist, lässt sie noch nicht, was sie kann. Wachseiten. Chef, wer diesen Chef kommt oder sie werden sagen. Was wer außerordentlich bloß außenbildend wird, dessen weniger sagt, der Distriktangang ist. So ihr merkt, wer mag oder der die Abendstadt genügend ist. Solch Absurdität, wer betrifft drauf, bestellt diesen der Käufer. Das begreift vielen von ihren Mitarbeitern. Mit ihrem Namen erwies des Landlosen gab, an Befehl dit, das drauf, wie kann, gibt einige Sicherung in ihrer sehr niedrigen auf. Und doch tut noch John des Dies kann Maß der Geselligkeit. Noch das kann deshalb Maß des Toten, wie wir in Geist sein. Weil der jener ist, es scheint dann, Deutsch und Gär und Werfe sehr an Dielen. Mit den Arbeiter hier sehen die höchste werden nicht. Der Geist wird mehr nahm es laut. Für wer sie keine Arme gab, andere der frei auf sich leiten, an zwei Streichs. Noch tun versorger sie wissen, was ist ich? Das kann wir eigentlich nicht weniger auf ein Brennen der Kabinen werden. Das liegt nicht, dass die Gehirnwachsheit, wie einer selbst sogar selbst nicht wissen kann. Hier das, ich nicht wissen kann.
Nicht so klar, wer ihr Chef in der Kunst ist dieser ihr intellektuelle Vorgesetzte, ist Macht. Das nicht eine Sache für den Krieg, weil der ganze Himmel ausdeckt. Das gab ohne Vorurteil aus. Und doch, von nicht ein mehr von ihnen so viel dem wahren Künstler jener anderen falschen Verbindungen des 19. Jahrhunderts durch so viel als eine Entschuldigung, als so viel sogar diejenigen des 18. Jahrhunderts und der österreichischen Folge.
Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher. You know more about music now than many knew then. You have not heard of Mozart. I have not been born. I know nothing about integrity, as you know it, which is false. Oh, it is an abominable lie. That is true. That when Mozart's publisher went to meet him in Mainz, he did not know Johann Andre. Mozart did not know him when it was not too late, and they met. At the coronation of Prince Leopold II, Holy Roman Emperor, whose time in office was going to be Brexited as much as perjured by the absolution of anything to do with states of Habsburgian patriotism that could withstand the struggles of 18th century Europe, that would leave Mozart struggling to find not only an abominably disconcerting emblem of monarchy in George I, but also the struggle to find any peace since the execution of Charles I in 1649. Comprises of the piano concertos 19 and 21, which at that time in Mainz, Germany, and the explicit compromises Mozart expects you to make the hero. Well, of what then? Still after the execution. The struggle to find a morbid isolated of monarchy, the disruptive anti-views about the method of music, and not peace at all with the Dutch. Oh, the Dutch. I perjure the seas of perjure the seas. That beyond the prospects that unforeseen in England of a future revolution. And you are expecting, aren't you, a future revolution? How would you like it to be represented in your pangs of excited desire? In that prospect of unforeseen England, you could not imagine what you would be doing after the dissolution of King James II of England and VII of Scotland. For very long you could only find it hard to have one clue what you were doing. But William, the king of the glorious revolution of Orange, that William of Orange's glorious conception failed to include Queen Mary II for very long. Let's face it, James II was taking some living down whose life was going to be in much exile, as that was exempted to Scotland and expected to hide itself in the pangs of l'anglais français. I know you have little understanding in music with the songs of Now Green, the President's Lovely Woman, and the lovely women when they were under King James Charles. Oh dear, we hope they were not also under King James II. We know that they weren't, unless they were French. But then they were under King Charles II. Those lovely women, that Grace Del Gwyn, are one of the first stars of the stage. Then James II was not much popular polarity prime as much as Queen Anne really was going to mean nothing. Much to do with music. Then I left to the monarchic exploits of the Georgian dynasty, sadly. This period. So much more part of the rich tapestry of Prussia and Austria's great musical pride becoming dominant in skill. Apart from some number of wars, which by 1750s had seen some exploits and exiles of Austrians themselves, coming, for instance, Burkhard Chidi to John Baldwin's son, who were a sad demise apart from the exploits of the great Amadeus Wolfgang, Mozart. The some number of war, the tragedies of the characteristic pathos that sent Mozart from King George to the Chelsea Hospital. I could have done it for less. And the French Revolution. The French revolting in the French Revolution. But who are less revolting than the less and the great, so-called, of your own people, than 21st century despondency about consumerism, which never endowed nor showed Cadiz is not where the main credential has any cadence, does it, in the patriotism of Nelson that leaves the man dying. Cadiz is not where three main cadential reasons laying path to enrich this bankrupt country of its perjury in what you know and believe to be truth. There is a case in Measure 71 that was imprisoned, causing things in the good old way, with some rather formal groups of cadential chords. But what is the good old way, viewer? Music, an art and a language that's expressed by none other than Walter Raymond in Spalding. We assume that he wasn't in Spalding as much as in Raymond. But what is the truth about Oates' famous conspirator's plot in the Popish plot of 1768? You would not have known Mozart then, whose, let's face it, mother was 10 years off her own passing, was going to leave England in some, shall we say, equivocations of corruption regarding the Holy Roman Empire, the dissolution of the very fast patriotic ceremony which anointed Leopold II as Holy Roman Emperor, really among the last of the children of Maria Theresa. Oh, Theresa, how we imagine Brexit will not be so conspired as the Popish plot of 1678, even 100 years before Mozart was even losing his mother. So those famous conspirators of 1678 to 81, you would need, with a strong hand of decision, with a fictitious conspiracy, conducted, shall we say, by so many of your salesmen, who would arrive at your door and say they are looking to buy a good piano, and they don't even know how to find a fine
how to find a fine, how to find a finesse. In 1681, with the kingdoms of England, this is about it, and Scotland. And Scotland, but this cannot live down, can you? The exploits of Mary Queen of Scots and abominable executions of those people not supporting in Catholicism. It is no wonder, was it, that before Queen Elizabeth I, who was one of the arguably greater monarchs, who never graced, shall we say, so much as old age, as hid the face, that the kings of England in 1700 were vastly different to those expected in 1678, before the abdication of King James II was even thought of. That by the anti-Catholic hysteria and coglysteria, it's alleged that the more existed in extensive Catholic conspiracy to assassinate Charles II. Ah, yes. You would need, wouldn't you, to control your people. But Charles II, it accuses that led to the executions of at least 22 men and participated in the exclusion bill crisis. Eventually, Oates indicate web of accusations fell apart, leading to the arrest and convictions for perjury. The Earl of Shaftesbury, elder brother, former Chancellor of Parliament, ultimately at war with his own people for its failing leaders to impending future James II. And you may know nothing about piano. You may know nothing about music. You may be people whose conception is of integrity. But this false concept and 303 Anglo-Dutch War, not to mention the despondent, despicable behaviour which sent George III into such exclusion from its own people that he could do little about the French Revolution. That by the time Mozart was dead in January 1791, you would not have dreamt that your idea of a real piano could be established. Well, you're looking at it. You are looking at the publisher's dream to make for this person, which I have never seen in the 21st century, to make for this explicit genius, Wolfgang made this Mozart, the finest derivation of all that to which he inspired and all that he aspired in the greatest musical instrument then which had ever been built, far surpassing anything which could have ever been built in the war, in any war, for those fleeting industries which laxative of the multitudinous concepts that falsely explain publishing, leave me in not any doubt that you have no integrity and no judgment of what is truth, any more than you knew it and your oaths in 1689. And what was your glorious revolution is a cadential abomination of a burnished principle, so deft in the art of persuasion that you persuaded even yourself to be so corrupt. And you call yourself a democracy.